Good evening, all. Welcome to this wonderful Saturday evening. Today, we have a very interesting topic just 1 week after our Independence Day. We are talking about the Indian Ship Technology Center, empowering Indian shipbuilding. Today's chief guest is Dr. Abraham Varghese, Director NSTL, and the session chair is Professor O.P. Shah. And the expert presentation will be made by Mr. Jathesh Chandra, who is now taking care of the ISTC. Welcome you all, sir. It's my privilege to now introduce the session chair, Professor O.P. Shah. We all know him as a professor in IIT Kharagpur. He received his BTech in Naval Architecture from IIT Kharagpur in 1980, MSc in Ship Production Technology from University of Strathclyde, Scotland in 82, and PhD in Engineering from IIT Kharagpur in 1996. Presently, he is a consultant to GRSE. He retired as Professor Emeritus from the Department of Ocean Engineering and Naval Architecture in IIT Kharagpur on 31st of December 2025. He was head of the Department of Ocean Engineering and Naval Architecture from October 2010 to September 2013, and subsequently Dean of the Continuing Education from October 2013 to September 2016. He taught a wide variety of subjects at IIT Kharagpur, and his main areas of interest include ship design and production, CAD/CAM, and high-performance vessels. He was involved in a number of sponsored research and industrial consultancy projects with the DRDO, Indian Navy, Ministry of Shipping, GRSC, Cochin Shipyard, L&T Shipbuilding, Kolkata Port Trust, Short Shipyards, etc. He was the chairman, Hydrodynamics Panel of the Naval Research Board, Government of India, and he was the honorary secretary and chairman of the Institute of Engineers Kharagpur chapter. From September 2024, he has been appointed as the chairman of the Naval Research Board by DRDO, Government of India. He has been a member of the Technical Committee of Indian Register of Shipping and Class NT, Governing Council member of SIMS, and a member of the Shadow Committee of MEPC under DG Shipping, Government of India. With this, it's my privilege to introduce you and request you to chair the sessions. Professor Shah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bharadwaj, for those kind words. First of all online members, I welcome you to this very interesting session on Indian Ship Technology Center, empowering Indian shipbuilding. It is my honor and privilege to welcome the chief guest and the expert presentation by Jathesh Chandra. I have been very fortunate that I have worked with both Dr. Abraham Varghese and also with Mr. Jathesh Chandra during my long career, and I am proud to say that I have learned a lot during my interaction from these two gentlemen. So, first of all, thank you, Dr. Abraham Varghese, for agreeing to be the chief guest, and also Dr. Jathesh Chandra for agreeing to make this very important presentation. Now, as I said, it's my privilege to introduce, first of all, Dr. Abraham Varghese, who needs no introduction. He is an electrical engineer by profession, done his BTech from University of Kerala. I'm not mistaken, he did his master's from IIT Delhi and PhD from Andhra University. He got a gold medal for his work for the work he did for his research at Andhra University. I know Dr. Varghese very well. He is an expert on all underwater bodies, mainly torpedoes, and he has made phenomenal contribution to the indigenization and the capacity development of underwater torpedoes for DRDO and in turn for the Indian Navy. Dr. Abraham Varghese currently is the Director, Naval Science and Technology Laboratory at Visakhapatnam, a laboratory that perhaps right now is proud of having the best testing facility, the high dynamic testing facilities, at least the one that I am aware of in the country and perhaps in Asia. They are also now expanding into other areas, and I'm sure Dr. Varghese will touch upon some of these when he gives his address as a chief guest. Thank you once again, Dr. Varghese, for agreeing to be the chief guest.
Thank
My
you, sir.
second, thank you very much, sir, once again. Just give me a moment. I would also like to introduce, and I said it's a privilege for me to introduce Mr. Jathesh Chandra, the quiet, hardworking naval architect I have known. Jathesh Chandra has been in this profession as a naval architect for the last 30 years. His expertise in ship design and shipbuilding within India and abroad. He graduated from the Department of Ship Technology, QSAT, Cochin University of Science and Technology. During his early years, he has worked for National Ship Design and Research Center under Dr. Sambandan, if I'm not mistaken. And therefore, he has the experience of the National Ship Design and Research Center. And it's really of this thing that the wheel has come a full circle. He is now looking after the Indian Ship Technology Center. Jathesh Chandra has worked with Hyundai Heavy Industries South Korea. He has also worked with Samsung Heavy Industries. He's worked in Malaysia for the Malaysia International Shipping Corporation, in which he was a part of several offshore and shipbuilding projects, both with national and international importance. He is associated with a number of committees, delegations, and in his capacity as naval architect. He is a member of the IRS Technical Committee, member of the Inland Vessel Rule Development Committee, Bureau of Indian Standards. He has represented India at International Maritime Organization under the Marine Safety Committee. He is currently the General Manager Basic Design at Cochin Shipyard, and I'm very proud to say, it's not written in his CV, that he really leads a bunch of very talented engineers and naval architects in this particular newly sort of set up basic design center at Cochin Shipyard. He is currently holding the position of interim CEO of the Indian Ship Technology Center. Perhaps the best person to explain what the government and what the objectives of Indian Ship Technology Center is all about. So with these brief words, I would request Mr. Jathesh Chandra to make his presentation. What we will plan is, after his presentation, we will have the question answer session. Subsequent to that, I will request Dr. Abraham Varghese to make his remarks as chief guest. Thank you. I request Mr. Jathesh Chandra to make his presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the kind words. And a warm good evening to all who joined online. Yeah, actually, it is my privilege to present about this topic, which is passionate to all of us. I know it's a very important topic right now for all those who are passionate about Indian shipbuilding. With your permission, I'll start. Is the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see. Maybe you can change it to full screen, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Perfect, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, all. India Ship Technology Center. This is a institution established under the initiative of Ministry of Ports and Shipping. This is registered as a Section 8 company in March 2026. That means this is just a very few months only, 3 months old company only. Yeah. So in this presentation, I will be going through mainly seven areas. One is why we need a technology center and what has happened with the previous institution we had, NSTRC, and what is happening in and around the world, and how we have established it, and what is the mission and vision, and what are the focus areas, and presently where are we in the establishment and the implementation. If you look at the overall situation here in India, we actually lack overall coordination and a national ship technology center in India. Why? Because of the reasons I have listed out here. Fragmented expertise across design houses, shipyards, and academia. We have got number of institutions, number of design houses, and experts also, but we are unable to put it together and maybe produce a design or what we actually needed. Still, we are lacking in the overall global shipbuilding scenario. And we have got a lot of pain points, persistent pain points of domestic design houses. Our design houses has got number of issues which needs to be looked at, which includes software cost, lack of indigenized Indian softwares, inadequate skilled forces in shipbuilding, ship design, both in blue collar and white collar. Limited R&D being carried out in advanced technologies, ship design. Lack of adequate expertise in the development of niche ship design domains like specialized vessels like LNG carriers, offshore rigs, and other advanced analysis like noise and vibration, etc. Lack of indigenous shipbuilding components that being produced. We don't have many of the Indian many of the components which we are used are still being imported from outside. Considering the strategic importance of shipbuilding in Indian economy, there is a need to have a technically competent umbrella national agency for unifying and channelizing the national efforts in one direction. It is with this intention, Ministry has set up the institution Indian Ship Technology Center. If you look at the global centers like this, we have got CRISO in South Korea, which is established in 1973, and Marin 1929 in Netherlands, SSPA Sweden in 1936, NMRA in Japan 2001, SOIC in Taiwan 1976, SDARI in 1964 in China, and uh, CTO Poland is established in 1951. So all these facilities has got a lot of capacities and capabilities in various ship design, testing, and equipment testing, and model testing, labs, etc. So I'll just go through just for your information. I'll go through a brochure of CTO. This is CTO Poland. So hope this is can be seen.
So
Can
we
you
can
see
see.
the
Yeah, we
Yes,
brochure?
sir,
can
we
see the
can see.
brochure.
Yeah.
We can see.
So CTO Poland, I'll just browse through the brochure. You can see the facilities like this with all towing tank facilities. Then research in offshore structures, structural mechanics, various hydrodynamic testing facilities, computational facilities and simulations, research centers, offshore test laboratories, maneuverability tests, cavitation tunnel testing facilities, wind tunnel testing facilities, environmental research facilities, mechanical testing labs, then various dynamic testing facilities, acoustic laboratory, various equipment testing facilities. So this is just to show what are the facilities in such a test center, and we may have this in some of these are there, but it is distributed all across the country. So there is and many of them are we are not aware what all things are there. So a need is there to integrate this and available to the commercial shipbuilding as well as to the various shipbuilding activities in here. So this is one of the major function ISTC will be looking at. So going back to the past, we had one organization, National Ship Design Research Center, which was set up in 1989 in Vishakhapatnam. It was a wonderful campus. I was also a part of this. But in 2008, it was amalgamated to IMU Vishakhapatnam. And now it is not serving as a shipbuilding or design center. It is a part of IMU. Now going to the MOPSW's four-pillar approach, most of you know we have got ambitious target by Ministry of Shipping, 4.5 million GT per annum. For that, we have established four pillars. One is shipbuilding financial assistance scheme to provide assistance for shipbuilding, and maritime development fund for maritime infrastructure, and capacity and capability development, that is SBDS scheme. For this, under this scheme, ISTC, India Ship Technology Center, is set up as an apex body where there is a funding of around 300 crores is allocated for about 10 years for the functioning of ISTC and implementation of that. And there is other initiative, legal and policy framework. So these are the four pillars under MOPSW. And a vision and mission of ISTC, mainly to be India's national hub for indigenous ship design, applied research, and advanced maritime technology, supporting the growth of a self-reliant, globally competitive, independent Indian shipbuilding to help India to become top five by 2047. With that mission, there are basically it is set up with five focus areas. First one is development of indigenous ship design capacity, research and development, computational and experimental testing facility, training and capacity building, indigenization of shipbuilding components. So these five pillars are crafted looking at the various issues we are facing and the gaps we need to fill in to reach the top five in by 2047. So I'll go to each of these pillars in detail. So if you look at the indigenous ship design capability, the goal is to create indigenous ship design ecosystem by strengthening Indian design firms, enabling access to the advanced softwares, developing standard vessel designs, reducing dependence to foreign design houses. So major gaps right now we are facing is high cost for the ship design softwares, uneven capability across design houses, limited access to specialist expertise, lack of coordinated design ecosystem. So what we should be doing is building a strong national brand for India's maritime design capabilities, establish a Indian maritime design group. We have got a lot of design houses, integrate them and use or maybe specialize them for the various capabilities they have. We should have, ISTC will be reaching out to the design firms for their capacity and capability and develop design through the design houses we have. For that, we need to empower them with the design softwares, access to the design softwares, how the costly softwares can be made available and affordable to them. That will be looked at, and also in the long run, we need to have indigenized softwares developed in India. So ISTC is taking up to see whether subscription as the subsidized fee can be provided for the subscription of the softwares. Promote software development. So as I said, we don't have even computational or production softwares in India, which end up in using foreign developed software, which is very costly. So ISTC will associate with software firms, startups, academia, and R&D institutions to collaborate in developing advanced ship design softwares and to find cost-effective alternative ways for the future. So this is for both design and production softwares, and also open source software development. Coming to computational and testing facilities, we have now both model testing as well as computational simulations are also very important now to build an integrated computational capabilities and a network of experimental model test facilities, hydrodynamic and wind test facilities. We have many, not many. We have facilities all around India, but how can we utilize this to the maximum extent? If needed, what all need to be established in the future, this will be looked at. So the gaps identified is fragmented testing facilities, limited domestic capacity leading to the dependence on overseas for testing, and limited accessibility to the test facilities. So we have got now NSTL, IIT Kharagpur, and IIT Madras. So if you look at NSTL is a very high-end world-class facility we have, mostly used for defense vessels. So how we have to look at how this can be also wherever possible, commercial testing can be done, whether we can augment the team with an external support. IIT Kharagpur also similar way, IIT Madras also. There are new facilities coming up in IIT Madras and IIT Kharagpur. Do we need an additional facilities considering we have these three? And if you augment it, whether that is good enough or uh, need of a new towing tank or a seakeeping basin need to be looked at. And during the course of time, we have discussion with a lot of reputed firms outside India, also Marin, CTO, all these firms we have discussed. They are also ready to collaborate in running a test facility here. So all these are being looked at. Research and development also, we have got various gaps. A lot of researches are happening in academic institutions, IITs, and also in other sorry, their organizations. So funds are also available in various ways. So whether we are doing the academic, whether we are doing the industry needed researches, are we utilizing the previous researches done, or what are the technology readiness levels of each of these researches until now carried out? Can we take up to the next level? So, if there is a research done previously in some institution, are we aware of that? That much work is done. Who has carried out? All these need to be looked at, and we can build to the next level and also connect these researches to the industry. So there should be an interface between academia and the industry. What are the needs of industry that need to be researched? That can be given to the academia, and the academia can look at that, and industry can support that. So this is the way ISTC can play a role interfacing between industry and academia, and also facilitate with the ministry for various research that is going to happen. So I have gone through this, but anyway, R&D niche areas of shipbuilding, ship design, and green propulsion systems, sensors, indigenization of marine components, etc., need to be looked at and launch joint industry projects. Then there should be a central repository of the research information that is available with various institutions. ISTC can coordinate that, and experienced. We have got a lot of experienced experienced hands who has got both research, academic as well as industry knowledge in and around India. So this need to be, we have to integrate all of them and use their expertise to do the researches and uh, all the new technologies coming up, and also collaborate with the bodies like NRF and Naval Research Board to the various researches, and so that there is no duplication of the work, and also industry required researches are carried out. Training and capacity building. So the to reach our mission or the target by 2047, we definitely need a lot of skilled uh, personnel both in the blue collar and white collar areas. So if you look at blue collar, that is mainly for the shipyard ITI level, and white collar will be for the officers university level and also for the supervisory level. So we need to have skilling in all these levels to take because a lot of new shipyards are coming up in the east and west coast. Whether we have got adequate um, skilled labor will be available when this shipyards come up. So this is something need to be looked at, and we need to have a planned or phased manner of skilling. And to address one of all these issues, what we need is to connect the academia very well with the industry. This is one of the most important thing we need to do, because the shipbuilding importance of shipbuilding is not only to be made aware to the naval architects or marine engineers. It should be taken to the other disciplines, mechanical, electrical, instrumentation, electronics, everywhere. So the colleges need to be, all these students in the colleges need to be made passionate, or somehow we have to bring them towards shipbuilding so that they are aware of what is going to happen and passionate about what India is looking at. So identify the training program. Some of these I have already talked about. So, promote student outreaches, reach out to students. All the shipyards are right now getting internships from various colleges. But when the students are coming to the shipyards, if you take them in a proper way and train them, they will definitely become passionate to the shipbuilding, and it will have a good chance to have passionate people towards the industry. And if you have passionate people towards shipbuilding, they will definitely contribute much more than a person who land up in shipbuilding accidentally. So this is something we need to be definitely looking at. Uh, and if you look at the development of clusters of along the east and west coast, we have got 9 clusters coming up. So 8 clusters coming up. In each of these clusters, it will be shipyards coming up, maybe ancillary industries coming up, then townships. So all these need skilled laborers. So for a 4.5 million GT per annum, we need around, only for commercial shipbuilding, we need around 2 lakhs blue collar jobs and white collar jobs in the field of officers level of around 10,000. So if we look at the present level of skilling, this will not, we will not reach anywhere near to this. So we need to have additional skilling mechanism, and this need to be aligned uh, all over India, and we should have a self-sustained skilled personnel, self-sustained ecosystem of skilled people around each of the clusters. So this is something ISTC will be overseeing. A coordinated way of skilling is happening, a phased way of skilling is happening, and a proper curriculum or a standard curriculum is followed in all the states. So for this, the available schemes, there are many skilling schemes are available in India. So, for example, for the ITI or the blue collar skilling, there is Prime Minister PM Sedu skilling program, which is actually a Prime Minister's skilling program for 60,000 crore is allocated for this Skilling India initiative. Out of this, if we don't, we need to utilize some of this for shipbuilding skilling also. So what we are trying is in Cochin also, there will be a, this is called hub and spoke model for skilling, where a hub ITI will be developed by an industry, and there will be spoke ITIs which will be associated with the hub ITI. So the hub ITA, for example, in Kochi, if you have developed one hub ITA as a shipbuilding ITA, so here in this in the government scheme is this cluster of ITA. It is around 240 crore is the cost of infrastructure development and implementation for this cluster. And out of this 240 crore, 120 crore will be provided by the central government, and 33 percentage will be given by the state government. And if an industry is willing to take 17 percentage, they will become the anchor of the hub, and they can develop courses as they wanted. For example, Cochin Shipyard is in discussion with Kalamassery ITA here, so to develop it as a hub ITA for shipbuilding. So with that we will associate, associate other 4 or 5 ITAs. So you will have 5 + 1, 6 ITAs will be developed through this scheme. So then we'll have enough blue collar jobs associated with shipbuilding in that cluster, or so each of the cluster, shipbuilding cluster, should have a shipyard associated with an ITI and the spoke ITIs, so that each of the cluster will have a ecosystem of skilled labors. This is what the blue collar skilling and supervisory skilling diploma in shipbuilding technology. We are in discussion with Polytechnic here to start a new shipbuilding technology. There is that will help to keep people. Now if you look at the present generation of students, they may not be that much willing to go out and do the shipbuilding jobs, like standing in the sun and maybe running after the people and then going into the tanks. So we need to develop skilled diploma level people. So this is something which we are looking at. This will be a sandwich program similar to ISBT Goa. ISBT Goa has got a 4-year diploma, out of which first 2 years they study in in the college. Then they go for 1 year 1 year on job training in the shipyards in Goa, which is very well supported by the Goa shipbuilding industries. After that, they go back again to the college. So after 4 years, they are very well suited to be used in the industry directly. So here the same thing in IT also. So right now, if you look at any of the electrical or mechanical or the welding courses, or fitter courses, so these need to be trained in line with the shipbuilding. So maybe you should have 6 months or more training in the shipyard during the course itself. So after the ITI, by the time they finish ITI in 2 years, they should be ready. If we give the way of skilling, what we have seen when we went into detail in Korea is they don't have a they skill people more on the on-job training for the industry. So if you have a theory class of about maybe 6 months and maybe a 1 year on job, then they'll be suitable for the shipbuilding fitters, or maybe electrical part of the maybe the cable laying, scaffolding, riggers. All these courses need to be aligned in such a way that they will be industry ready after the course. And just to for the connecting industry with the academy at the university or the degree level, CSL is establishing one center of excellence in Cochin University, which will actually connect the industry with academia. This should be followed in other institutions by other shipyards also, so that the students are well connected during the studies itself with the university, with the industry. So we have got a professor of practice appointed already there. and research assistants and student projects running through the Center of Excellence. So, to the industry projects can be taken up through the Center of Excellence. So, these three ways: one is the white collar skilling through the Center of Excellences in universities by the industry, and diploma level skilling for the supervisory grade, and on-job training, or maybe through the hub and spoke scheme through the ITI. This is the method which can be implemented in all the clusters, and such a way that each cluster will be able to have an ecosystem of skilled labors. So as I said, outreach, how INA, in this case, INA, so ISTC is integrating all the capabilities in India. So we'll be collaborating with the Institution of Naval Architects, Institution of Marine Engineers, all other similar institutions, wherein we can collaborate together to mentor students, connect the students to the industry. Like then also INA should be able to now. There are a lot of in the Institution of Naval Architects have grown to a very large level in India. So there should be more engagement in IMO participation in IMO. INA can send delegation along with the Indian delegations, and also attracting students towards shipbuilding, creating awareness in colleges and regarding shipbuilding. Mentoring initiatives similar to SNAME can be adopted in INA also, and ISTC also will be able to contribute for these programs. That is, I have already talked. Yeah, recently INA and ISTC, we have collaborated for a student level program in Bangalore, wherein the students were shown about the Archimedes principle and buoyancies for the 8th standard students. So at least few of them may be attracted towards building with these kind of experiments in college levels, demonstrations in the college levels, the school levels. Yeah. So another initiative which we are also taking up is ISTC and INA is also supporting a national level event that it's called Anchorage, wherein the students are creating a similar setup of IMO, how IMO is functioning, and each college will represent a country, and there will be a jury who will be looking at the papers which are presented by the colleges. So the colleges are given to ask to study about the MAKV document, and there will be quiz and good prize monies are given, so that maybe other discipline students also will come become aware of what is happening in the maritime sector in India. And there is also a CEO session which is promoted in this event, wherein the student leaders are identified, and so that they will get a and also in this session they'll get a chance to sit with the CEOs in maritime sector. So this will attract students towards the shipbuilding sector. And coming to the last pillar, indigenization of shipbuilding components. If you look at, we have got a large dependency. About 60% of our items are imported. So this need to be reduced. The target is dependency to be reduced to 40% by 2030, 30% by 2040, and maybe 15% by 2047. For this, we have to map what is the dependency, which or area, maybe the first attack on the low hanging items, then also maybe if some of the items which are being developed for the other industry. Recently we have conducted a seminar in Coimbatore for only for pump and valves, wherein we have seen a lot of pump manufacturers and valve manufacturers are there in Coimbatore, but they don't have a visibility on maritime sector. So how these people can be brought to maritime sector need to be looked at. Many issues they face, like testing facilities and certification by class societies, the awareness on the codes or the testing standards. So for this, we need to also tie up with startups and drive innovation ideas. Yeah. So ISTC will be taking up the matters with the various testing centers and also discussions with the classification societies, how they can support this drive in India. And for your information, we have a website, istcindia.org, which is created recently, but it is being populated. But you can still look at what are the areas we are focusing and what are the services right now we are doing. And also a monthly newsletter is available, which consolidate what all developments nationally and internationally happening in shipbuilding. This can be downloaded from the ISTC website. So coming to the collaborative system of ISTC, finally ISTC will be will be acting as a or facilitating between all the stakeholders, including the ministry, design houses, software firms, startups, software companies, maritime experts for skill development, various shipyards, polytechnic, ITIs, colleges, indigenization drive for classification societies, shipyards, uh, OEMs, and test facilities, and for R&D and computational, various research bodies, institutions, and model testing centers. Yeah, thank you. That is a brief on what has happened now with ISTC. ISTC is not to compete, but to complete the loop between India's maritime researchers, designers, trainers, and industry so that India can finally design and build its own future shipbuilding. I'll just show the website also. Is it visible?
Yes, it is visible to us. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is ISTC India website. Here you can see various focus areas which I explained, and also tenders. We have floated a tender for skill gap assessment and newsletters for each month, May, June, July. It is available here on various activities or shipbuilding important news are published in a very uh, short summarized manner only, but this will give a gist of all the issues happened in shipbuilding. Yeah, with that I uh, am this is more of like a I would like to take feedback from you all because I know this is very passionate to many of you, and any suggestions how we can take it up forward will be always welcome. uh, yeah, open to you all for any questions or ideas. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jathesh Chandra, for a wonderful presentation and bringing up what ISTC is going to be about. I can see, first of all, there has been a very large number of participants, and I can also see a large number of question and answers coming up. So, first of all, my request is, Dr. Bharadwaj Iyengar, do I compile some of these questions? Because some of these questions are of similar nature.
Yes, sir. Yes. We can do that.
And do you want somebody to come online himself and present the question? That
so the choice is yours, sir. Either we can compile the questions and put forward on behalf of whoever's question. As well as any significant questions, if you want them, we'll invite them to the panel.
Okay.
both out.
So first of all, thank you very much once again. I'm trying to compile some of these questions as I go along. The first question is from Dr. Ashwini Otta, and a similar question has been asked by Mr. William D'Souza. Okay, so let me read out the question of Dr. Ashwini Otta. Several key softwares in ship design and operations can be developed in-house, but a key requirement is financial resources. What is the vision of ISTC towards this? Mr. William D'Souza asked a very similar question. Would there be a dedicated team for development of indigenous software for ship modeling and analysis? So we can club these two questions, and I request Mr. Jathesh Chandra to first answer this before we can move on to the next question.
Yeah. Sir, there will be, the idea is, I have shown 5 pillars. So there will be a dedicated team for these 5 pillars. But what we are looking at is to integrate the facilities we have right now in India, maybe collaborate with the academia or the research, or maybe with the, not to develop a software by ISTC, but we can collaborate or fund it, or maybe facilitate funding. This is the present view. Facilitate for funding, or maybe join hands with the companies to develop what is needed. So ISTC by own, we will not be having people, but we will have experts who can guide. Because what I can see when we start talking is, I was also part of this one meeting, as well as after that also, when I go for the some of the sessions, what I understand is there are a lot of softwares are, even IITs or maybe institutions has got some of the softwares which are developed, which are used in-house. So many of these can be put together or maybe commercialized. So we need to look at what we have now, not to start from scratch.
If I may just ask a follow-on question with the permission of the chair. Yes, there are a lot of in-house softwares which are developed, including in shipyards, in IITs and all those things. But they are typically tuned towards a specific user, or whoever has written the code can use it. As opposed to a product level software where with proper training, a generalist can use it. So perhaps we are talking about the bridge between all these specialized modules which are lying in elsewhere to actually developing a product. Is ISTC actually trying to fund such sort of bridging? That's the question. Probably. I mean, that's just a follow-on question to whatever was asked.
We have intent to do that also, funding also. If required, we need to do that and develop it.
Thank you. I can only add to this that I think GRSC through its district program is trying to fund development of indigenous software, which Mr. Jathesh Chandra was talking about, because he's also a part of that committee. Let us see. They are fragmented efforts, but maybe ISTC can coordinate these activities.
Yeah. So Drishti is one of the initiative by GRSC. So there could be other initiatives happening. IDEX is there. So if there is something happening, we don't need to duplicate the efforts. So if something is happening already by one institution, maybe ISTC should look at a different one, or maybe collaborate one. It's basically to integrate these initiatives.
Thank you. The next question is from Mr. Anthony Prince, but I will not read the question. But I will come back to him later, because as a senior member and as perhaps a leading stalwart in ship design, perhaps we'll give him the floor a bit later so that he can directly ask the question to Jathesh. Okay. So I'll come back. If you don't mind, Mr. Anthony Prince, we'll come back to you later, I hope. Okay. Then there is a question from Mr. Abhishek Kumar. And he says, as a marine engineer, how can I transition into ship design and shipbuilding? Can you please lay a rough layout plan for me? And he wants to move from marine engineering to ship design. Okay, but marine engineers are also a part of ship design. I leave it to Jathesh to answer this question.
Sir,
Jathesh.
yeah, everybody, I think, yeah, marine engineering is always a part of ship design. But I have worked with marine engineers who have sailed, but one of the thing will be about sometimes I have seen is those who have sailed on board for a long time, very difficult for them to sit in a place and do design. But this is something you may have to tune towards. And if you are passionate about designing and you are able to work with computers and sit in a place and do design, that is something can be done. But otherwise, there are many people who have joined shipyards for the practical aspects, commissioning and maybe other shipyard activities. That is also can be looked at. Always marine
Thank you.
engineers who have sailed, the practical part will be of very much valuable to the ship design part.
Siddharth Srivastav has two questions, and they have come at two separate times. The first question, I'll club both the questions of Siddharth Srivastav. Training programs are okay, but where and who will be engaged to train? Really, as per the envisaged requirements. So he's looking at who is going to train the trainers, that is number one, or who is going to train. The second question is, what are the executable ground level coordinators tasks of ISTC other than recommendation to achieve the objectives? I thought this was spelled out by Jathesh, but the second question a bit vague to me. What are the executable ground level coordinators tasks of ISTC other than recommendation to achieve the objectives? Jathesh, I think you have answered both the part, but please go ahead.
Yeah. So for the who will train the personnel or people. So we are right now we are doing a skill gap assessment where one is what is the gap in the workers level or maybe blue collar and white collar level, and also we are looking at how the trainers to be trained. So we should have trainers also, of course, not only trainers. So we need additional training facilities. We need additional capacity in shipyards. If all these IETIs or they need on-job training, shipyard also need facilities, hygiene centers, canteen facilities, infrastructure. All these need to be looked up. So this is being looked at so this need to be developed in a phased manner. We cannot develop all at one time. Uh, so this will be a part of the skill gap study we are doing. And second one was other than recommendation. Yeah. So the phase now is actually the implementation phase and how this ISTC need to be conceived. So the inputs are always welcome. So right now, I have shown the CTO facility how it is carrying out. So the dream is to have a facility like that. But do we need that? Need to be looked at first in India, because there are a lot of facilities already there. So what is needed need to be set up. So if there is to be set up, then we will have execution will be done by ISTC for that part. If there is already somebody doing that part, we may need to coordinate that or facilitate that or connect them to the right people. And if there is any help from ministry, that is also need to be interfaced with the ministry. But if there is a gap which need to be established, that will be established, and we need to have a team in ISTC to look after that.
Thank you very much. I think I will now come back to Mr. Anthony Prince. Can I request you to give him the handle to speak, because he has a number of questions. Okay. And it is better that he asks.
Anthony Prince sir is also a part of implementation and action committee.
That's right. So I think he wants a proper discussion. And then they are very senior people. I will come back to them later. Okay.
Good evening.
Can you give the handle?
Thank you. Yeah.
Good evening,
Can I
sir.
speak?
It's nice.
Good evening.
Yes, please
Can
go
I
ahead,
speak?
sir. Please go ahead.
Can
The
you
floor
hear me?
is yours.
Can you hear
Please
me?
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Good evening to all. Thank you very much for organizing this session to explain the working of ISTC, and I think this require more publicity among the community so that everyone can understand, participate, and contribute. So thank you, Jathesh, for this initiative. Thank you, INA, for this initiative. My question is very specific that in order to achieve the Maritime Vision 2030 and Amritakal 2047, approximately 400 ship order has been identified as a starting point of this endeavor. And those 400 ships will come from Indian PSUs, Indian government organizations, as well as from Indian private owners. Now, when we have already started to see the orders have started to pour in, the MR tankers, the container ships, and very large gas carriers and things like that. That's good. But unfortunately, all the RFPs specify clauses that actually prevent Indian designers to participate. The Indian shipyards are included in the game because they can engage a foreign designer with experience and participate. However, an Indian designer is left out in this whole game. This is contrary to my experience in Japan, Korea, and China, where I was very active and we have built a lot of ships. So they have always tried to give their national ship design organizations or domestic organizations a priority, especially when there is a government funded project or a state owned company ordering or whatever it is. So I would like to know how an Indian ship designer will ever qualify if he is prevented from participating in the Indian ship orders. A foreign ship owner ordering ships can always specify his design of choice or his designer of choice. But this is very unfair. This is my first question. Uh, the second question is that currently the designers have to foot the entire bill for developing a bid design. And most of the shipyards then request for an exclusivity for that bid design. And if that particular shipyard does not win the L1 tender, then that designer loses the opportunity to participate with the shipyard he is partnered or with any other shipyard that would probably employ him. So this is a big blow. We have discussed this in many forums many times. So how will ISTC handle this aspect that ship designers are facing today? Those are two of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for pointing out some very relevant sort of ground realities. So, Jathesh, I think.
Yeah, sir, I understand this. Yeah, this has been the problem. I think we need to do. We need to address these issues too. And regarding this ships, 400 ships, the initial ones has come out, but we have some more to go. The ambition or the mission is to have this to be done, developed in India. So we will work together for that, sir. I think we will take it up for the upcoming. Mainly the what we need to have is to have confidence uh, building within the owners, and they should be made confident on that part. So I think maybe need discussions and take in forums. It's yeah, first MR tankers has come up, and that is does. I don't think we have got enough time to do correct that, but I think the future ones we will take it up. And regarding the big design cost, this not only this, there are other matters also which I feel need to be addressed, uh, especially in the initial stages of many of the design houses. It is actually the issue of cash flow, and these are all issues need to be addressed. We will look at those kind of matters also, such that big design now, development of a big design with a shipyard, at free of cost. That is something which I don't know if a shipyard is approaching you and doing it, then it is something which. But if it is something which uh, uh, Navy or shipyard is asking you to do free of cost, then I don't know how that can be done. But one of the thing which ISTC is looking at is to develop designs upfront. Maybe depending upon, this is why I was telling, the idea now is to integrate the capacities and the capabilities of the design houses. For example, if you need a MR tanker, ISTC can, a requirement is there. ISTC should be spending the money upfront and develop the design with the design house. So the model testing money need to be spent upfront by ISTC. So the designer will get paid by ISTC.
Perhaps since I may just add a comment or clarification, I would request basically. Probably Anthony Pinsar can also comment on it because he's a very senior member of the experience internationally. One of the main issues is basically who is basically guaranteeing the risk in the design. So when I have an experienced designer, because of reputation for whatever years, who absorbs in case the design fails, who absorbs the failure, and who's taking care of or who's taking care of the risk. In the case of Indian Navy, since Indian Navy has the in-house design team, the risk is taken care of by the Indian design team. I mean, in case design goes and the performance is not met or whatever. But particularly for design companies, when we want to have the confidence in both building and design, just wanted to know, because there's a very august audience, probably Prince Sir can comment, Jathesh can comment. In all these things, it is nice to tell that, yes, we will fund, we will support, we will design. But ultimately, when the ship is built and it doesn't perform as per the design, who is bearing the risk? Now it's basically ship owner, because he has to live with the design failure for perhaps the lifetime of the ship. In the case of Indian Navy, it is okay because they themselves are the designers. But when it comes to commercial, that part has to be seen when you are talking about, say, including the designers in the contract. That's my thought actually, but I would like probably Prince Sir to also comment on it and Jathesh Chandra also to comment on it.
Manu here. I have, I just wanted to say these are the points what was raised by Mr. Anthony Prince. They are very, very relevant. So ISTC probably one of the major role that it can play is to have a capacity assessment for a design. And they should be able to assess and say that this design firm, what they are saying is correct, and they'll be able to provide the right design for a particular product. So ISTC has a role in this manner to ascertain the competency of the design firm to design and give a ship. There is nothing like, something fails. It has to be, we should be confirming that the design is correct prior to the ship is made. So the test facilities, the evaluation facilities, and the expertise that you identify that there are gaps. If it is not there in the country, we have to go and fetch it from wherever it is available. That is how the garland has to be put. There are many pearls in the country, but there may be some pearls may be missing in between that we should be able to fetch. So ISTC has to fill in all these gaps. Then only this effort, as projected by Anthony Prince sir, can be met. Right.
Yes, true, sir. That is true. So that is why building confidence in the owner is to be done. So the capacity and capability development, the capability, that is why we are going to empanel the designers based on the capacity and capability, and the design can be developed within India. That is the fundamental thing we plan to do.
Yeah. May I add? First of all, the point actually Mr. Kurula said is very valid. Recently, we had a situation where we had DNV certify us that we have the capacity and capability to carry out a particular design. And I talked to IRS, and what IRS told me is that you please submit a design and we will give that approval in principle. So that will be a certification or a verification of your capability. So the capability assessment can be done by third parties. And if there are knowledge gaps, then it can be specified that we have found there is such and such knowledge gap in your experience, and please obtain it with people who have it. This will solve the problem. So, but in each of this case, The important thing is that the Indian designer's capability will improve project by project. Secondly, the IP of the design will remain in India. And in future, if we really want to, to develop other designs, then these designs can be a base. But by engaging a foreign designer and buying the design, no technology is transferred, no IP is transferred, and you are not sure you are getting the best cutting edge design for India. It may be a used design, an old design. It is not the up to date design. So there are many things there. And with regard to Mr. Iyengar's question about responsibility. Definitely, a ship designer, if it is his IP, if it is developed by him, he guarantees the dead weight, he guarantees the speed, and he guarantees the performance. So, in our particular case, we have developed the design for several projects in India. Completely brand new, the 500 passenger vessel, the fast patrol vessel, or the ASWC with Cochin Shipyard, the FSS with HSL. In each of these cases, responsibilities are clearly defined and shared. So I don't think that is an issue at all with regard to the performance of the vessel. And second thing is confirming the capability of the designer. So that is also not a problem. And if knowledge gaps are there, the shipyard or the ship owner can insist that we find such and such knowledge gap and we want you to get foreign collaboration. We do get foreign collaboration in a number of projects that we do. And the other anomaly I wanted to say, we talk about MR tankers, 50,000-ton simple plain Jane naval architectural problem. And we are currently collaborating with HSL on the FSS, which are much more complicated 50,000-ton tankers. You see, but yet we do not qualify for the MR tanker contract or the RFP because we don't have a proven design in our name. So I think, we cannot just say that a designer must have exactly the same ship experience because there are common factors in ship design like naval architecture, marine engineering, and other things has to be looked into further to qualify us in a situation where the country never had any serious shipbuilding and designers never had the chance to build ships, or Indian owners were ordering ships or things like that. Nobody is going to give an Indian designer a chance abroad because they can easily say you don't have any history. So please consider this more broadly.
Yes,
And
yes, thank you, sir. My point was more on actually when you're trying to build the capacity, we should not actually burden them with these sort of risks. Of course, as Dr. Manukarla has told and everybody in the field know that yes, because of evaluation, we can guarantee the performance of a design. But contractually also, there should be a little bit of leeway so that capacity building happens. If we overload them with a contract, then because of fear, capacity building itself will not happen. These are two entirely different things, but probably you should think about in a complete holistic way instead of just narrowly thinking
I
in terms
think
of
we can
contract.
discuss
since
this further.
And we can take this discussion later also, as you told.
I
Yes.
think it is important. What we get out of this is that Jathesh has to hold another session, okay, only with the designers, as far as ISTC is concerned, but because many more queries will come up.
Or rather, it give me a hint to me that we'll have an exclusive session, INA session for designers.
Okay, we should.
I would very much welcome one.
Call one. Let us proceed ahead. There are many more questions that are coming up in this particular interesting seminar or webinar. I think I'll go next to Jyotishman Dasgupta sir. His is more of a comment. Great initiative. SBT expansion is very promising. Hope coordination with software technology corporates and IMU centers are also planned. More of a sort of advice. Best regards. I'll come back later, just 1 minute, to perhaps the senior most naval architect I can make out in this particular session, Dr. N.S. Mohan Rao, Captain N.S. Mohan Rao. His question is, I do not see any reference to collaboration with considerable design facilities set up by the Indian Navy, that is our Warship Design Bureau, and its associated ecosystem. They can be fruitful exchanges to mutual benefit. So I think this particular question needs to be answered, but surely has been looked by, this has been considered by Mr. Jathesh Chandra, but I would request Dr. Manu Karula can step in this particular regard as a DG of DRDO.
Yeah. Actually, this input that has been given by Captain Mohan Rao, that is very relevant. Actually, the ISTC, it is not going to collaborate only with commercial shipbuilding. This ISTC also will benefit largely naval shipbuilding, and the real progress that has been achieved by naval shipbuilding, that will be also get translated into the civilian shipbuilding. This includes all the test and evaluation facilities and the design capability that has been brought in by designing the warships and including the submarine. This may be translated and this may be percolated down to all the civilian sector shipbuilding activities. ISTC already had an interaction with MDL and the DRDO labs like NSTL and NPOL to work together and to activate the activities of Nirdesh in a big way. And they had visits, they had number of discussions. So similarly, already as I understand, ISTC present head, that is Jathesh, had visited almost all the naval shipyards, defense shipyards, and ascertained that they'll be collaborating, they'll be associating with ISTC. So ISTC is definitely going to act as a catalyst, accelerator, and promoter in utilizing all that capability that we have achieved. This is the very purpose of it. I really admire the right question put forward by Captain Mohan Ram, because this is one of the major things that is required. All the capability that we have achieved in India, that has to be brought together, integrated, and it has to be put forward in making the vision 2047 possible. Thank you.
I can only add up here,
Yeah,
Dr. Manu Karula.
We had
Jathesh, just one. Yeah, please. I just wanted to add here that I'm sure you have a discussion with the Warship Design Bureau, or as earlier it was called D&D, and the experience that they have gathered over this last 50, 60 years, that definitely will play a key role, because they have definitely brought indigenous design naval shipbuilding to the forefront. Okay. Jathesh, please go ahead.
No, same thing, sir. Definitely that will be done, because the only thing is, one is defense shipbuilding and the other one is commercial. It's not early commercial, but the indigenization in shipbuilding software or components may be different, but there are a lot of indigenization happened in naval side and Indian shipbuilding components, but that may not be directly, we cannot use it for commercial shipbuilding, but many of the other technologies, definitely ISTs, there are many things common that will be utilized. And already we had discussions with the WDB, as you said. It will be.
I think Admiral Bakshi is looking after that right now.
Yeah.
There are two questions from my dear friend, Dr. Anand Subramaniam. If I take the liberty to combining both the questions. Undoubtedly, we need the physical test facilities, that is the testing facilities as envisaged under the ISTC. Since NSTL is heavily in use for defense projects, ISTC must take the primary lead to cater for commercial shipbuilding. I think that is what Jathesh also has pointed out. One thing he says that these test facilities should not be restricted to 9 to 5 environments. I think, and I say this with my experience at IIT Madras, we can build up confidence without too much dependence on an international laboratory to help us do our work. I think that's exactly the mandate of also of this thing. The second question is, we should encourage open source software I think, which you have mentioned in your slide, and there are plenty today. And many of our naval architects are working successfully on these platforms. This is one way of overcoming the high cost commercial license. Absolutely correct. I fully agree with Dr. Anand Subramaniam. Jathesh, just your final comments on this. Open source software and the facilities to be used round the clock. You are muted. Jathesh, you are muted.
Yeah. So true, sir. We are reaching out to all the institutions. I had visited IET last week. We'll be visiting NSTL, and there will be MOU signed with these institutions, and how this can be maybe how ISTC can maybe complement or maybe support on maybe commercial testing. These all things will be discussed with the existing testing facilities, and then uh, we will see whether what is needed and what are the specifications of the new facility. This is actually ongoing. We have done some preliminary studies, and this shows we need a facility. But I understand there are some new facilities also planned, so these also need to be looked at. But right now, looking at NSTL is having around 500-meter long facility, and IITs are for small vessels only feasible. So what we see for to decongest NSTL, we may need to establish to around 250-meter long one towing tank, which will definitely decongest but if you need any major seakeeping test, that can be done right now, maybe using the NSTL facility. So this is the finding right now, but we are deep diving into all this and will be studied with all the experts.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we'll try to bring it to an end. There are two small questions. The first question is from Bharadraj. He says, hello, sir. Has the process of assembling, the process of assessing indigenous supply chain for shipbuilding started? The process for assessing indigenous supply chain for shipbuilding started.
I think for the equipments, I think maybe for the.
I think it must be for the equipments.
Yeah, that is there is a report, draft report already prepared. What are the dependency level of dependency and which are the things need to be addressed? This is being looked at. So that is why the first seminar we did in Coimbatore was so this is some of these equipments already we have got capability and capacities like valves and pumps that need to be addressed first. Steel we have already capacity. Then it is the last one we may have to the items which need technology transfer like engines and high-end machineries is the one also will be looked at. But first, the priority level is being finalized and that is being looked at.
Thank you. And last question before I hand over to Dr. Abraham Varghese. This is from Veera Perumal. It's great to see the white-collar talent pipeline being developed through industry-supported COEs within academia. For the blue-collar workforce, how long will it typically take for PM Setu to be operational and start offering vocational courses in shipbuilding? In the interim, are there any plans or existing training pathways to address the immediate industry requirement? So his question mainly is from the blue-collar side, and you had mentioned about PM Setu. I think he wants a further elaboration because I feel that the blue-collar requirement is immediate, if I'm not mistaken.
So that is true. So the PM Setu is a program which will take which needs approval and maybe establishment in tie-up with the IITs. But what is happening now to immediately address is the 11 shipyards were asked, or now the 11 shipyards has signed MOUs with 48 ITIs in various coastal states. So these shipyards with ITIs will start giving. Already CSL has stretched to few more IT students for on-job training. So this will be implemented on-job training for the students who are already going on the courses in general ITA courses. That is happening for the time being, but slowly it will be converted to the PM Sedu shipbuilding programs. That will take,
Thank you.
if that will take, for example, as per the Ministry of Skill Development is very well actively involved in the skilling program for using PM Sedu. There are PSUs can directly collaborate with ITIs and do the skilling. So each state, for example, in Tamil Nadu, there are around 17 clusters. That means one hub ITA and 4 or 5 ITAs. So there are 17 clusters accepted by the state government. So that means 17 into 240 crores is the ITA and infrastructure development. But this is not for shipbuilding alone. There will be different maybe electronics, semiconductor, these kind of different disciplines will be done. So that out of that, maybe some of this will be heavy industries will be taking anchor industry seats. So that need will be seen at the skill gap study part. Then if there is further need to be specialized courses, that cluster need to be addressed separately. What is the gap on that? That courses will be started in that cluster.
Thank you. Just one last quick question from Dr. Ashwini Ota. I think his question has come just in, and it is also important from my side. Are the open source software accepted by the industry and classification societies while reviewing and approving the design and operations? Suppose I develop or I do a calculation based on open source software, will the class accept this? That is what I think Dr. Ota is asking. I think somebody from class can also answer this.
I think, yeah, open source we are using like open form and all we are using much, but maybe if you can show.
I guess if we can do a validation, they should accept it. That is my personal feeling. That if we can do a validation with a standard basic form or something, they should be able to accept this. That is my personal feeling. Why should class be rigid?
Like open form has got some benchmarked hull forms like KCS and all. So these forms for that, whatever is benchmarked or maybe validated, that part can be used. So this we can discuss with class.
I think we can discuss this with the class and see what.
Yes.
So
I think so. The class will accept if you independently put up an argument and proof, they will accept. That has been my experience with class in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Prince. I think that answers Ashwini's Ota's question.
Maybe for the softwares right now we are using like maybe OpenForm. This is a CFD software which class may not be having, because this is mainly for we'll use for drag and resistance, which class may not be that much interested in. They will be mostly on the strength and stability part. So stability.
Class is not looking into high dynamics part of it at all. Yeah. They are not concerned with resistance, drag, and propulsion and all these sort of things. Thank you very much. First of all, once again, thanks for answering all the answers very patiently. I have kept Dr. Abraham Varghese waiting patiently out there.
So Pradeep from XIRS has sent a response. Class won't accept open source software for stability, at least. Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah, Krishna Kumar. I think he had a question. Did I miss Krishna Kumar's question? I think he had a question somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. No. Thank you, Mr. Krishna Kumar, for giving this. Class won't accept open source software for stability, at least. That's what his question. And the answer, Jathesh. Okay, we'll see this as we go along. So, Dr. Bharadwaj Iyengar, can you please request Dr. Abraham Varghese to give his chief guest remark?
Yes. I request the chief guest to give us remarks.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Good evening, Professor Opisha sir, Dr. Manu Kurula, Sri Jathesh Chandra, Bharadwaj, and all other stalwarts. I'm not a naval constructor anyway, but I would like to indicate some points regarding the this India's ambition of the shipbuilding. We all know that our country's tryst with the oceans is of thousands of years old. Long before maybe the modern maps were drawn, our ancestors really mastered the trade winds. The world's, I think, the earliest known tidal dockyard is I believe, during the Indus Valley civilization. To the magnificent wooden ships which has been built subsequently. And now we are planning to enter into a place where one of the 10 countries, that is the position which we want to earn. You know, the ship construction is often called as the the mother of heavy engineering. So it is just more than just constructing the vessel. We all know that it's a massive economic multiplier also. Recent decades we have made significant, rather extraordinary strides, mostly notably in defense. The transformation, the Indian Navy from the buyer's navy to builder's navy is a shining testament to our country's capabilities. Today, the state-of-art aircraft carriers have been built. Advanced destroyers, frigates are proudly designed at home and built in our own shipyards. While our defense sector has progressed, has set high benchmarks, India is now setting its sights firmly on the the commercial sector, the commercial shipbuilding, green shipping, and also in the global maritime trade. With the comprehensive national strategies like Maritime India Vision and dedicated shipbuilding development schemes, now the government wants us to position India among the top shipbuilding nations. We all know that in India, the naval constructors are a rare breed. Very few colleges offer this course. I think around 300 naval architects only, I think it is coming out every year. Certainly an improvement over the earlier years. But however, it's only a minuscule compared to the other stream of engineers, maybe the computer or the other electronics engineers who's come out. So we need to certainly see how this skill development can be taken up. I think ISTs can play a big role in this one. Also, primarily when we are considering the shipbuilding, of course, the design and the validation is one part where the Warship Design Bureau and NSTL has got the facilities which is nowhere else in this part of the world. The half a kilometer long your towing tank, then you have got the cavitation tunnel and the your seakeeping and maneuvering bases. So these are some of the facilities unique which is available, although it is packed with the testing of this one. We are also offering opportunities for the private sector and the other for the commercial ship testing also. Other than this one, maybe there are other 5 pillars which we have to consider for the shipbuilding. One is, of course, the structural materials, the hull and the frame. The hull constitutes almost the 90% of the ship's weight. The DMR 249 steel, which is being developed by SAIL, it's already there. But the aluminum alloys, which are also being used, then the keel and frames and the bulkheads. The bulkheads is another internal watertight vertical walls. All those things are another things which we have to see. The second point which we need to consider is the propulsion and the power systems. So we all know that all the main marine engines are being imported. So this is one of the other field which we may have to consider. And the propellers and shafting and the propulsion system integration. And still has started the PSI in a way. So, but we need to graduate in this area. Basically, the marine engineers maybe on a collaboration or an indigenous development we need to take up. This is also going to constitute a major chunk of the cost of the ship. Other part is the auxiliary generators, the independent, the engines that generate electricity. Although these are also most of the things are being imported. And the third pillar may be the navigation and communication. The most of the navigation systems, I think now the Bharat Electronics has developed some of the navigation system, the communication suits. This also is one of the other important field. And now, since the automation is coming into picture, the integrated vessel automation is another technology which need to be looked at, which is going to reduce your fuel consumption and monitor your conditioning monitoring, and when cargoes are being the cargo stability. These are some of the other things which we may have to this one. Of course, the fourth one is the marine accessories and outfitting. Your gears, your rudders, pumps, piping networks, deck machinery, HVAC systems. These are the other chunk of systems where indigenization is certainly, I think it has come to some stage where certainly it has to be seen. The fifth one is, of course, the safety and the other associated coating and outfitting compartments. These are some of the other things which we may have to see. The marine coatings, the paints, the life-saving appliances, of course, the firefighting. So these are the other things which maybe we need to make the ecosystem for making a full-fledged indigenous ship. Maybe we can look into developing integrated clusters where co-located mega parks can be there, where shared infrastructure can be there. So something is that we can think about. And also the localization of the supply chain, ancillary supply chain, where critical components, so that the build domestic capacity for whatever the critical components. And of course, somebody was mentioning the fiscal part. The fiscal incentives is one thing which government may have to consider, where it is going to help. And also the niche and green technologies are another thing which are coming up in a major way in the shipping. The green propulsion, of course, the specialized vessels. So these are another thing, maybe your alternate fuels are all coming up. So these are some of the other areas where we need to concentrate on a long term. Of course, the global technical tie-ups is certainly going to benefit in these cases. And of course, the other thing which has been already talked about, how augmenting the ship design and R&D capabilities, where we can, the ISTC can concentrate on this, where the national hubs can be there, where you have got additional hydrodynamic and research things that have been there. And of course, another thing is the digitalization is another core area which we have to see. The AI-driven modular design, everything is all smart yard concepts are already coming up in ship design. The other thing, the skill standardization has been already talked about. So see, these are some of the areas where ISTC can take a lead role and bring up the things. To conclude, I would like to say shipbuilding is not just merely a floating steel on water. It is about floating our nation's economic ambitions, engineering prowess, and the global dreams. So I would like to thank Bharadwaj, and also wish ISTC all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abraham Varghese.
Actually, Dr. Abraham Varghese, in a nutshell, he has completed the gap analysis.
That's right. Yeah, thank you very much for this nice and summing up. I think you have, Dr. Manu Korola, would you like to comment before I conclude? Any views?
I think he has summarized the total requirement in the maritime sector, where all we have to put our focus in the coming days with the development. That is wonderful, and definitely each and every one of these areas has to be looked at and taken care of by ISTC. Then only the intended progress can be made. But his claim that he is not a naval maritime sector individual, we cannot accept it, because he must have been definitely fully involved in this. Otherwise, he cannot see all these things through and through the maritime sector where it lacks. He has brought out quite clearly. And I know he had been in marine sector. He has been a developer of marine systems for the last 35 years or so. So his comments are really valuable. And we are privileged and proud that he could come and attend this conference. Anyway, Bharadwaj, and
thank you. It is my pleasure.
Back to Professor Shah and Dr. Bharadwaj.
Dr. Bharadwaj, would you like to say or shall I conclude?
No, so you can conclude. You can.
I would once again thank Mr. Jathesh Chandra for an excellent presentation. I knew it will be a long evening and there have been a lot of people involved. Dr. Abraham Varghese, people don't know, but I have worked with him very closely. Perhaps extremely knowledgeable person in underwater bodies. Okay, I need not elaborate anymore. And he has been at the cutting edge technology of all our underwater body systems. It has been a long evening, and I know for sure that ISTC that has been set up under the guidance of Ministry of Port Shipping and Waterways has a mandate to fulfill. The mandate has been that it should serve as India's national hub for indigenous ship design, aerodynamic research, advanced maritime technology development, consultancy, and policy advisory. This has been the mandate, I think, what ministry has given, and this is what Mr. Jathesh Chandra has been working on for the last few months. From my side, I would like to add that perhaps with the fast-changing development that has been taking place in AI and ML, especially in natural language processing areas, I think the development of a lot of platforms, software should take this into account. I am seeing my own students doing wonders with AI, ML, with Claude, with Opus. Okay, they have brought down their times of development drastically. Okay, this perhaps also should be looked into. Maybe ANRF, that is the Anusandhan Research Foundation, is already looking into it. There are issues of digital twin also that has to be looked into. And these are some of my thoughts. The final thought is shipbuilding is not an easy, and shipbuilding and ship design has definitely been a difficult profession. I know my senior, who is no longer there, Mr. Gautam Roy, used to say that I am in shipbuilding. He was a shipbuilder and a ship owner. He used to say that I am there in shipbuilding not because of profit. It is mainly because of passion. I have also seen other stalwarts like Mr. Prabir Mitra and all, who were very passionate. Mr. Sarangdar, Mr. Prabir Mitra, who were extremely passionate about development of ship design and shipbuilding capacities in the country. So I think with these brief words, I would like to thank all of you who have participated online, offline, in this particular program. It has been a very interesting evening and a very long evening for all of us. Let us hope that there will be more such online discussions organized by INA and ISTC to clarify a lot of points that were raised in this particular discussion. And I do hope that ISTC and its team all the very best. Jathesh Chandra in particular, that he has challenges in front of him, but as was rightly said, there is miles to go before I sleep. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but we have miles to go before we sleep. A very apt line from Robert Frost's poem. Okay. Thank you once again very much for letting me chair this particular session. Thank you. Dr. Bharadwaj, back to you.
Thank you, sir. As the chair has told today, it's been a very long and interesting evening, and certainly worth the time that we spent with very large participation. It's my privilege to thank all, particularly Dr. Abraham Varghese. I think I called him just 2 days back and asked him, sir, can you just be the chief guest? I know NSTL, with all the hydrodynamic test facilities and the environmental test facilities, they take a lead in ship design, particularly in the naval side. And so he readily agreed. And as remarks showed, he just completely outlined, as Dr. Manukarla told, the gap analysis and what is all the sectors of ship building is something that we cover. Thank you, sir. My thanks to Professor Opisha. Last week, Mr. Jathesh, Chandra, Upisha, and me were in IIT Chennai. Then I told sir, we are planning this lecture. Can you just be the session chair? I know that Dr. Upisha, Mr. Anthony Prince, and Dr. Manu Kurla are all associated with, the ideas of ISTC, both formally and informally. So he readily agreed and chaired the session. And thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for chairing the session. And Jathesh Chandra, I should thank him for giving us the opportunity to listen to the vision of the government of India in general and the ISTC in particular, which is recurrent of the country. Thanks for enlightening us. Of course, we knew from newspapers here and there, but certainly a detailed talk like this will help us to, both get informed as well as get associated with the activities. I would also thank the 83 participants. This is one of the major participation in INA lecture. That shows how, as Professor Shah was telling, yes, we are passionate. That's why 83 people spend their nice Saturday evening on this. So this is the passion that we are showing, and hopefully we'll take it forward. There was also a very lively discussion during the Q&A session with Mr. Anthony Prince, the seniors, Mr. Mohan Rao, Professor Ananda Subramaniam, Mr. Josman Das Gupta, and a lot of good questions. We thank all those who put their questions and that enlighten and enliven today's discussion. Thank you. And my final thanks is to the Professional Affairs Secretary, Mr. Amir Ahmad, who was taking care of both the membership of INA, the membership lists, and the professional activities, as well as actually being the backbone of this seamless webinar and the INA office. And final thanks to Dr. Manu Kurla, who is the president of INA, and with whose guidance we are having all these monthly activities. Now INA is also expanding, where we are having alternate sessions as webinar and hybrid sessions in chapters, with chapters in Cochin, Calcutta, Visakhapatnam, and Bangalore very well active, and the other chapters are also getting activated by hybrid sessions. And I hope next month, the hybrid session and further webinars also, we will have similar participation and similar interest in the topics. With that, thank you and have a great Saturday evening and stay great weekend. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.